S on my name and on my screen.
All right. Whoa. This is COFOH Live Undead. I'm your host, Daniel Crosier, and we are with the author, the one and only Sandra Wells.
Something on my face.
Sandra, how are you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm excellent. Thanks for coming on the show.
Oh, thanks for having
me. Sure. So, yeah, you're based out of Tennessee. How's that treating you these days?
That's treating me pretty good. I've lived here 6 years now, and I'm getting used to it, the mountains and everything.
Oh, fantastic! You got mountains in your purview?
I sure do. I tell you what, it's a beautiful area here. Ooh. And you've got the rolling hills and the valleys and the blue skies and all that good stuff that you'd expect in Tennessee. Cows and lots of cows.
Fantastic. Sandra, tell us a little bit about yourself. You know, how, where you come from, how you grew up, and how you got into writing.
Well, my father was in the military, so I was born overseas in France, in Bordeaux, France.
Oh, cool.
And we lived in the Pyrenees Mountains in Fuenterrabía, actually in Spain. And we migrated back to the U.S. and lived in California for a while. I've lived in New Hampshire, Virginia, South Carolina, North Carolina, Tennessee. I'm just kind of like here and there, but I enjoy it. I love it. Oh, I lived in Okinawa, Japan for a year. That was pretty cool.
Wow, and, that's amazing.
Yeah. But I've just been a little bit of here and there, and that's kind of made me the person that I am today. You know, you get around so many different people and thoughts in life, and you know, it's great.
Well, that's cool. So you've got quite the spice for life. In that you're incredibly well traveled. You know, seen a lot of things. You know, been a lot of places. And you grew up as a military kid.
Yeah, well, my father was in the military until I was 7. And then I just kind of started traveling on my own when I reached 18.
Nice. That's cool. So you're pretty adventurous then?
Yes, I could say so. I love to, see new things and meet new people. I've never met a stranger.
Oh, cool. Yeah, that's awesome. I always love, the idea of, reaching out, meeting new people. I mean, that's part of the reason why you're here too. I love to see what other people are doing and creating. Have you always been writing?
I used to love to write when I was real young.
Okay.
But then I went into the graphic design business. I had a graphic design business for 13 years, actually, in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. And I had to put writing totally on the back burner, other than for ads or whatever. Yeah. And then I moved to Tennessee, and I have, pretty much retired. And my friend bet me last year. She said, I bet you couldn't write a book. She said, we ought to write a book and be famous. And she said, I bet you couldn't write a book. And within 3 months, I had 2 written.
Oh, my God. So it was more of a dare, huh?
It was a bet.
Yeah. And I was reading your biography. You mentioned that, your first 3 novels, right? Is it the New Hampshire Crime Series?
Actually, the first 4 novels are the New Hampshire Crime Series books. Yes, it's a series. And
Wow.
they all take place around Portsmouth, New Hampshire, between Portsmouth and the White Mountains in New Hampshire. And
Nice.
yeah, that's a beautiful area there. I lived in Barrington, New Hampshire for 4 years and fell in love with the area, but not enough to stay and shovel snow.
Oh, yeah, yeah. That's pretty tough. Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, you being in Tennessee, a lot less snow, right?
Oh, yeah.
What else about like New Hampshire, makes it such a good setting for a good crime story?
There's just so many different areas, and
Mm-hmm.
a lot of it is remote. So, when you have, like in one of my books, you have the killer kidnap 2 small children and take them to a secluded cabin during a blizzard in the White Mountains. You just have so many different, opportunities for areas and things.
Yeah.
You have the seacoast, and then the mountains, and then the wilderness. And
Nice. So a lot of opportunities for a lot of bad things to happen to good people.
oh yeah,
Oh dear.
a
Yeah.
lot of places to hide the body.
Oh geez. One of the other interesting things that I read was that your first novels, right, were written on on your phone. That is quite the feat.
Actually, I live with that phone in my hand pretty much. I hate to say that, it's horrible, but I do. I live with that phone in my hand, and I have an iPad. I have a couple computers, but it just seemed the most. I started the book on my phone,
Yeah.
so I just continued, and from the very first page I wrote, I've written every page on my phone.
Wow. Which novel was that you started out on the phone?
Just like that, in the New Hampshire Crime Series, just like that. It
And
was
that's
just like, yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. That was book 1, right?
Yes. And then
Wow.
there's Nothing Else Matters, then Fatal Prediction, and then Before Dawn was the one that was released early January.
Holy cow. Man, and you've done this in like 2 years. That is amazing.
1 year.
1 year. Oh,
1 year.
dear.
And my newest book just came out about 2 weeks ago. It's totally away from the crime series. It takes place in Ocracoke Island in North Carolina. It's a lady leaves Asheville, North Carolina, and buys a bar, oceanfront bar in Ocracoke, and the ghost of Blackbeard the pirate haunts it. And he starts telling her how to live her life and showing up and doing the most opportune things here and there. It's pretty much a mystery comedy romance rolled into one. But it's selling really good.
Nice. Oh man. Going back to the New Hampshire Crime Series, can you tell us a little bit about what the first book is about?
Well, yes, I can. The first book, it introduced the detectives. There's 2, Detective Carver and Detective Kelly G.
Okay.
And they work together, to solve the different crimes and murders and things like that. And there's a couple kids that actually kill their parents and stuff them in garbage bags and then go away for the weekend into town and have a big old time while their parents are there hid in the house,
Jeez.
And yeah, and Detective Kelly, she's stalked by this crazed stalker, and he leaves the bodies piled up pretty much everywhere he goes behind her to get to her. So that's pretty much what that book's all about.
Oh my. Yikes. Yeah. And then does that just lead right away into Nothing Else Matters? Is that just a separate crime altogether?
Yes, Nothing Else Matters is a totally separate crime.
Yeah.
Where once again, the 2 detectives, they are chasing a drug dealer and a rogue cop who have used revenge as the main plot to kill off a few people and kidnap a young girl and put her in a warehouse in a well, and auction her off on the dark auction as a sex slave. They're trying to auction her off. So they have to, find her before that's actually done. But they, end up solving a lot of it in between things before they actually find her in the book.
Mm.
So,
Oh my gosh. And then, so you've got Fatal Prediction, and then Before Dawn just came out as
yeah,
well.
in Fatal Prediction, a man, his wife presses charges against him for abuse, and he's been in jail for 2 years, and he was supposed to have been there longer, but he gets out early and goes after her. And unfortunately, her boyfriend's there at the time, and so he goes in and murders them and kidnaps his 2 children, who are both under the age of 6.
Oof.
And he takes them to a cabin, a secluded cabin in the White Mountains of New Hampshire in a blizzard. And then he goes to collect the money from their grandfather, but gets killed.
Oh,
so
wow.
No one knows where the kids are. So a psychic has to actually help find the kids, where the kids are in that book. So it's pretty cool.
Wow. Yeah. Nice. Now, with you putting out so many novels in just 1 year, I can only think of, like, what's your work ethic like? Do you like sit down and set like a goal each day? It's like, I got to write this many words or this many pages, or?
No, you know what? I listened to some of the other authors, and they were saying, "Oh, I have to have this song on while I'm writing, and I have a glass of red wine, and the temperature set at 78 in the house." And
wow.
Whenever I feel like it, I write for an hour, hour and a half, and when I don't, I don't.
Okay.
I probably write maybe 3 hours 4 times a week. That's
Okay.
about what I do. Yeah.
Wow.
It's just whenever the mood hits me and I get a good idea, I sit down and write until I, get it out of my system what I want to happen, and I keep writing. That's about the only way I can describe it.
Oh man, that's pretty intense. Now, with as you were mentioning, The Clock Struck Midnight, right?
Yeah.
That also just came out, and that's more of a departure from from the crime series. What was the inspiration behind that?
I just wanted to give the detectives a rest and get away from the murder situation, and
Sure.
see if I could actually write something else. Come up with a decent book, that didn't involve murder and killing. So
Right.
I love Ocracoke Island. I've been there several times, and it's a very remote island, small and everything. And I just thought, boom, it hit me. And I thought, well, that would be a pretty cool place to have the ghost of Blackbeard, have fun with a young lady while she's trying to live her life. And, there's a hurricane involved, and I don't want to give away any of the story, but it's selling really well. St. Clair Publications is the publisher on that one, and
cool.
It's selling pretty well, and I'm pretty happy with the way it turned out.
Nice. That's pretty awesome. After doing so many murder mysteries and everything, murder and death can be a little monotonous, huh?
Yeah. Well, I wanted to actually push myself to see if I could write something different. There was another book which Breaking Rules did that had 13 authors that wrote 13 pages, and there was 13 chapters, and I was the 4th author in, so I had to kind of tie mine in with the ones before. So I've had that experience also.
Nice. Oh man. So was that where on your website I saw that you had that short story Barnaby the Satisfied Troll? Is that where that came from?
No, that's just a small short story I did just for the heck of it. It's a Halloween short story about a troll who, he's not satisfied because he's old and decrepit and doesn't have anybody. So he goes about the 3 nights before Halloween solving all of that and changing it by killing off
Okay.
a couple people.
Oh, killing off a few people. That
He
makes it
killed off 3
satisfying.
people.
That,
One person he killed, he got youth from, and one,
nice. Well, that seems pretty fun. It's fun doing those Halloween stories too, right?
yeah. It just it's I don't really sit down with anything in mind, and it goes where it goes. That's the only thing I can say.
So yeah, so when you're writing, you're not necessarily working from an outline. You just it's just plug and go.
Yeah, I think of what I would like to happen at the end, and I go about filling out the rest of the book.
Nice. That's pretty awesome. So now you mentioned that a friend of yours challenged you to really dig into all this writing. Are they also writing with you, trying to keep up or anything?
No, her name is Valerie Elias, and I've known her since the 2nd grade. And
cool.
she bet me that, she said, I think we ought to write a best-selling book. And I said, well, I doubt that could ever happen. And she said, I bet we could do it. So I took it, literally. I started writing, and next thing I knew, within 3 months, I had 2 books wrote. And I contacted her and I said, hey, guess what? And now she's like, my God, she said, you're writing them faster than I can read them.
Oh my gosh. So by the sounds of it, she didn't jump in. Yeah.
Not that I know of. She's had 2 new grandbabies born though, so I think she's kind of busy. So.
Yeah, that'll occupy her time. That's cool. I was kind of hoping, there'd be like a circle of creativity, but it seems like
I tried to get her
yours.
She might do it. You never know.
Cool. Well, that's awesome. I've had that experience too, where friends have challenged me to do things that I didn't think I had in me. I'm known as an illustrator and everything, and then I had a local cafe. My friends at Mutiny Cafe, Jim Norris and Matt Megacy, and they're like, hey, we think you should take your illustration style and paint the side of our building. And if you ever see any of my work, it's really tight niched, really fine lines, thousands and thousands of lines. I'm OCD, and so I ended up painting the side of their wall, a little mural. It was like a Sphinx cat chomping on a grasshopper. And after that, I was just like, wow, I'm hooked. I want to do tons of murals now. And it goes a lot faster than if I'm sitting there at a piece of board, illustrating. It goes way quicker because, I've got free range and a lot of movement going. But
have you ever had to paint on bricks?
Oh, yeah.
That eats the paintbrushes up, doesn't it?
Yeah, it eats. I've painted on stucco. I just got done painting a brewery up north from Denver, and so it's a lot of fun. So I really appreciate those creative challenges, and especially you, man, taking to writing like that and just knocking out novel after novel after novel. And I think.
I think she brought it up because, what we were actually, looking for things to talk about. And her mother was a writer. Judy Blum was her mother, and she was a writer author. And,
awesome.
I think Valerie's more into the creative part, like art, like you are, more than writing, more so. But
nice.
That's what pushed me to do it, though.
That is awesome. You are in good circles then, man. That's great. The with that too, like you wrote two novels. How soon was it that you got your publisher? Because I think is it Breaking Rules for the New Hampshire series?
Breaking Rules did the first 4 books, yes.
Nice.
It was, let's see, I started them in March, and I believe it was June when I signed the contract with them for the first 2 books.
Wow. 3 months. No kidding.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
But
so I take it the series is pretty well received then?
yes, a lot of people really like it, and I've got a lot of good comments and reviews about it and stuff. Actually, I got one review of this lady. She thought it had too many curse words in it. I'm like, oh my God, really?
That's the criticism, huh? Oh, geez. That's awesome. So I'm going to throw up this banner. Here's the full set, the New Hampshire Crime Series. Just like that, Nothing Else Matters, Fatal Prediction, and the newly released Before Dawn. Man, that's amazing. Yeah. Can I ask, how many pages do you average for a novel, do you think?
I believe 212 was the page count on this last one, on The Clock Struck Midnight.
Okay.
I get around 43,000 words, somewhere in there.
Okay, nice.
I don't try to write War and Peace or anything. I don't think they have that in me. So
yeah. Well, that keeps it, to be relatively, quick, engaging read. What are your biggest influences when it comes to writing? Was it like pulp novels or novellas, or was it something else?
You're not going to believe this, but the thing that I enjoy reading the most is historical romances.
No, that's
around and kill.
Well, that makes perfect sense with the Clock Struck Midnight, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it's there's nothing really that has influenced me. I don't think. I just, like I said, I come up with an idea and I start writing, and then I think, oh well, this is pretty cool. Let's put this in there.
Nice. When you were a kid and you were writing, what did you have a lot to draw on back then? Was it a lot of your travels, or being stationed with your dad in different locations? I guess, I mean, he was out of the military, as you said, at age 7, right?
Yes. Actually, my father found religion when I was about 9 and became a Southern Baptist minister.
Oh,
so
wow.
I think it was mainly I was writing and just to get away by myself and not have to deal with a lot of that. So
yeah,
I mean, not that I have anything against religion, I don't, but it's a lot for a kid when you go to church 5 times a week. So
wow, that's true. When your father is essentially the head of a church, right?
Yeah.
That's yeah. You definitely want to find your own way, so to speak, and what a great way to dive into your own world by writing or creating stuff.
That you got it right there. That's what it was.
Yeah.
So, I read a lot too. I mean, I've always loved to read. So
yeah, with like historical romance, like what kind of things are you do you typically read?
Oh well, I like the ones. I don't like the drippy ones with all the sex and the I can't live without her stuff and all that. But I like the castle and the time and the nights and the things that actually happened, the way of life back then and stuff like that, and the remote locations in Scotland and Ireland and everything.
Okay. Like Celtic?
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. That's cool. With murder mysteries though, like was that was there any influence there, like something like Silence of the Lambs? I mean, obviously that's my go-to. So that says a lot about me. But
do you watch the new Clarice?
I haven't. My girlfriend and I have been rewatching Hannibal on Netflix. And I thought that was pretty intriguing because I'm a big Mads Mikkelsen fan. He's got an amazing Viking film it's a like a minimalist epic of sorts called Valhalla Rising that is just gruesome.
Oh, really? I want to check it out.
Yeah, I highly recommend it. It's not a Viking film that you would ever think of, but it's the same director that did Drive with Ryan Gosling.
Oh, that sounds interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, or Bronson with Tom Hardy. Like the actor who played Bane in The Dark Knight Rises, or
Uh-huh.
Venom. So yeah, it's really really interesting. So and definitely if you're into Celtic, that it's along those lines. It's not
Yeah,
a
I'll definitely have to
romance
check it out.
necessarily.
Yeah, Silence of the Lambs was yeah, that was a big movie when I watched it, and the influence of my life, because I thought it was so dark
Mhm.
and creepy, you know. And I do try to like to get some of that feeling in some of my books, but I don't quite go to the point where they're stitching people's skin together to wear.
Right. Yeah, when you're writing a murder mystery, do you become like really? It sounds like you might not become as entranced on the details of the crime or the horror. Is it more the interest of like the mystery, the who done it? Is that something you focus more on?
Well, I don't shy away from describing the actual murder. That doesn't, I actually describe it pretty detailed,
Yeah.
but I like the turn of events where people think they have it figured out, and then I lead them down a totally different road all of a sudden, and things like that,
Mm.
twists and the turns, and figuring out different ways to make things happen, to keep people interested. I hate to
Yeah.
read a book where I know pretty much where it's going the third chapter. I really hate that.
Oh, right. Yeah, it's I totally understand that. Yeah, for me, it's got to be amazingly well written. If it's pretty obvious, it's like, okay, here's point
Yeah.
A, here's point Z. You can pretty much connect the dots. It's just like, okay, this better be just immaculately well written, amazing characters. If it's a straight line,
Yeah.
uh, that can be pretty infuriating too. It's as a writer, when you're reading somebody else's work, do you like sit there and like and just like take those as like tools on what to do and what not to do?
Critique it.
Yeah.
Uh, I find myself actually thinking, "Wow, what in the world are you thinking?" Sometimes about the people, right?
Just sit there
And
and
they're like,
roll your
"What?"
eyes.
Yeah. I mean, I think, oh my God, it could have been so much better if you'd just done this or that, or
Right.
and I hate doing that. But yeah, I find myself doing that more now than I did.
Oh yeah. 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 Do you ever have any as a new writer, and even though you've written an amazing amount of books in such a short time, do you have like creative circles where you get critique sessions, or is it just you and your editor?
It's just being myself.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Just like I said, it's strange. I think of something that would be, interesting to write about, or interesting to have, or unique that
Right.
happens, and I start writing about it, and I don't have an outline. I don't have anything to go by. I don't know how to explain it.
Mhm.
Whatever hits me in the head, that's what goes in the book. Yeah.
Okay. And for your creative process, is there a number of like do you go back and reread and re-edit and everything for a couple of different drafts, or what's that look like?
After I finished with the book, I go through it one time,
Okay.
and then that's it. I let it go.
Wow. And it's
because
off.
I figure if I went through it 100 times, I would still change this or that.
Mhm.
And if I'm satisfied with it the way it is, and I make it a little better when I go through it, the second time, I let it go at that point.
Okay. And then it's off to the publisher, huh?
Yeah.
That's cool. Now, during the pandemic, has it been as a writer has been pretty worthwhile in terms of like staying home and writing nonstop?
Well, like I said, I really don't write nonstop. I do a lot of other things, different things. But the pandemic, yeah, it's really depressed a lot of people and made a lot of things hard to do and get out and go anywhere or anything. So
Right.
it's been a good way to spend my time.
Yeah.
And it's been a worthwhile way to spend my time.
Right.
And I'm always hoping that I'll wake up and the books will be selling off the shelf faster than they can put them on there. I had two bookstores in Ocracoke buy books this week, and the library there's carrying some.
Oh, cool.
And a couple bookstores in Portsmouth have bought some, and the library there carries them. So that's pretty cool.
And these are all pretty close to where you live or same town?
No. Portsmouth is New Hampshire, and I live in Tennessee.
Oh, okay.
So, and then Ocracoke is on the Outer Banks of North Carolina. It's
Nice.
I think it's 16 miles long and 4 miles wide at the biggest point.
Oh,
You take
okay.
a ferry from the Outer Banks over there an hour on a ferry with your car to get there.
Nice. That's cool. The
That might be something that happens in Tennessee, though. I have been thinking about
the when things start subsiding a little bit and people are able to get out more, as an author, what are you looking for to do? Like set up some signings and kind of meet the fans and stuff, and get that in-person feedback maybe?
Well, I get a lot of emails right now from people and texts and things like that about my books. They enjoyed it. When's the next one? Blah, blah, blah. And I've signed a few of them and everything. But it's just been such a short amount of time that actually all this is going on that I haven't really been able to set up anything. I've done interviews like we're doing and things like that. And I've been in 4 newspapers.
Excellent. Nice.
But I'd like to have some in-person signings and talk to some of them. I'd like for that to happen.
Yeah, that would be pretty awesome. With writers out there just starting out, what's a good level of advice that you would give them?
Oh God. I guess if you enjoy it, not to give up and, write your heart out. And when you're happy with it, then, see where it goes from there. I have a lot of people say, well, should I try to write? I really don't have anything that I've, wanted to write about or anything. And I'm like, well, if it, comes to your mind and you think of something you want to, then you should do it. But if it don't, I wouldn't force it.
Yeah. It's pretty interesting that there are those that can write very mechanically. Like I think like authors like R.L. Stine with the Goosebumps series. He'll sit down and writes. I can't remember if it's like 10 to or 10 or 8 pages, 8 or 10 pages a day or something. And then you hear of guys like Stephen King, he'll write, he needs to write like something like, was it, you can't remember if it's also 10 pages or 10,000 words a day. That seems a bit excessive. But, I think that's why he's able to keep up the work or the workload in order to keep up with you.
Right. I actually do write. I write about 20 pages.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
I mean, it's really easy for me for some reason. I don't know. It's just really easy.
That's great. So it's like kind of like turning on a water faucet. It just flows.
Yeah.
Nice. That's pretty cool. The when you're developing, characters, what are the attributes that you're really looking for?
Well, I like them as crazy as I can find them.
The crazier the better. I love it.
The crazier the better. But yeah, before dawn. I'll give you this little thing, but it won't blow the whole story. But she has a boyfriend that he does all this horrific stuff, to other people and everything. But he also mistreats her, and he cut her arm. Ooh. And he grabbed super glue and stuck the super glue down in the cut in her arm to seal it, so he wouldn't have to take her to the hospital, right? So at the end of the book, I mean, I'm just going to tell you this. And in the end of the book, he ends up getting blown up, and her line is, "Oh my God, there's not enough super glue in the world for that shit."
Super glue should probably hire you to write their endorsements.
I don't know about that. But yeah,
that's hilarious. Yeah, to me, with dialogue like that, you should also look at writing screenplays.
Oh Lord, I don't know. There's so many people writing these days. I mean, it's just the market's flooded with people writing.
Right. Writing just anything, right?
Yeah.
And I think too, like with the pandemic, it's given a lot of opportunities for people to, that are stuck at home, to be creative, to have that outlet, which is, both wonderful. But yeah, stuff does tend to, flood the market. And so, but it sounds like you're finding your audience and everything, and you just need to. Just wanting to do more outreach and everything, right?
Yeah, I try to market quite a lot, and I don't pay for ads a lot. I rarely do that, but I do my own ads. Having a graphic design business, I can do that.
Nice,
nice. And post them here and there. And you know what? I didn't know, but Facebook has they have a limit on how many posts you can make a day.
Right.
Yeah. I didn't realize that until they cut me off the other day.
Yeah, they unfortunately cut me off quite often, and because I do a lot of these and these interviews and put together a lot of event pages, and that means I get capped on how many people I can come and watch and everything. So.
They don't want to seem like spam, yet you can pay them for an ad and they'll reach 5,000 people a day, huh?
Right. That's that's where that fence line is. It's like, hey, if you want to reach X, you got to pay us, otherwise we're cutting you off. Yeah, it's pretty infuriating. When that happens. Yeah. So Sandra, with this body of work, out and available right now. And remember, everybody that's watching, you can go to the website that's streaming down below. But don't do it now. Wait until after the interview. But
you can also on Google books by Sandra Wells, and there's a site there. If you just Google books by Sandra Wells. Nice,
that's cool. The how many books are you working on right now, if you don't mind me? Wow. Still on your phone?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh! And so you're on your phone. What program are you using?
Word is what I write them all in. Yeah, just simple Word.
Nice. So how I'm absolutely mesmerized in that process. Sitting there typing. I sit here with my phone and I get so annoyed when I have to type a text to somebody,
Yeah,
so.
I can spell stuff bad. I mean, I have to really, watch what I'm typing. I'm not one of those typists that can type 300 words a minute without looking at the typewriter. I, I'm really bad at typing, but I make it work. I mean,
Wow.
I have to go back and spell check quite a lot. But.
Yeah, yeah. Me too, even when I'm sending out a text.
Yeah, for some reason, every time I type the word for, FOR, it comes out FIR. I swear. It's just like.
That actually sounds like my laptop. I do a lot of writing and I do a lot of typing, and most of my letters, that have worn off. So I can only tell what they are because I've got the keyboard memorized. So every now and then I make more mistakes than had they been,
Well,
clean.
I tried that old talk to text thing, that great idea that they came out with. Oh my God. Talk about the books getting weird.
Becomes a little surreal, huh?
Oh my God. I don't even recognize what it's supposed to be when I go back and read it. They come up with the strangest thing. You can make a simple sentence and it's way out there somewhere.
Right, very much so. Yeah, I've done that, with texts too, and then I just have to go in there and manually edit it anyway. I might as well text it to begin with. Well, that's got to be pretty interesting. Like, how do you still use text to Word in order to also write? Is that still a tool that you use, or do you use just stuff?
I just chat, and chat, and I use Word to write.
Okay.
And I don't try to cross them. And what I do is after I've written quite a lot, I email it to myself.
Oh, okay.
And that way I have a backup in case anything happens to my phone or anything. I have a backup. Talking about cell phones, I have to tell you this is funny.
Okay.
I was at the doctor the other day, and I get a lot of messages, but when I get a message, it knocks like tuck, 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 like tuck, tuck, tuck. It's like an actual knock, right? My phone was sitting there, and the doctor was talking to me, and it went knock, knock, knock. And she got up, and she looked at me and walked over the door and opened it, looked outside, shut it, come and sit back down. About 2 minutes later, knock, knock, knock. She got up, went over there again, and I was like,
oh my God.
Say a word, not a word.
Oh, that's hilarious.
I just let her keep answering the door.
At that point, take out your phone and just film it,
It was so funny. I mean, she'd go over there so concerned and open it up and look out and then shut it and sit back.
Oh my God. That's pretty rich.
That's bad.
It sounds like you've got a little bit of inspiration there for another short story or something,
Yeah.
Knock, knock, knock at the doctor's door.
There you go.
It could be Barnaby.
Hit the floor.
Oh, geez. So it sounds like you're having an amazing time. Delving into writing and everything. It sounds like you're taking this up though a little bit later in life. In your retirement, right?
Yes.
Is this something that you've always wanted to do ever since you were a little kid? Or
I always loved reading. I would go to bed when I was a young kid with an encyclopedia and read when I didn't have anything else.
Wow.
But I've always loved reading and I've always loved writing, but I just never had the time to do it. I was with your own business. You work 60 hours a week, if that less. And but now I have the time to do it, so. I'm not ashamed of it. I hit my 60th birthday a couple weeks ago. Happy
birthday.
I was like, oh God. But, yeah, well, it is what it is.
Yeah, 60 years young. That's awesome. Yeah. The key is to stay active and keep making art, keep writing.
Yeah.
That's wonderful. So you mentioned that you've got 2 novels, in the works right now. Can you tell us a little bit about what they are? Yeah.
Well, one of them, I'm doing the detective series again, and I
Okay.
really don't want to go into it a whole lot.
No worries.
And the other one, have you ever been to Myrtle Beach, South Carolina?
No, I haven't. I know of it.
Okay, well, it's like a 60-mile long beach, to say
Right.
nothing else, with hotels and restaurants.
Right.
And I lived there for, oh God, 2 times, but a total of 15 years. But anyway, out of the depths of the ocean in the middle of the night, a volcano is going to arise offshore
Wow.
Myrtle Beach. And I've checked this out, and there's a fault line up through there, and the quickest that a volcano has ever risen and erupted is 2 days. So
Ooh.
if that gives you any idea what's going to happen to Myrtle Beach and the tourists.
Oh my gosh. This sounds like a natural disaster movie waiting to happen here.
Yeah. So yeah, the volcano's going to arise in the middle of the night while the tourists are, partying, sleeping, or whatever they're doing, and then the next day they're going to have balls of fire, chasing them through the streets.
Oh, geez. It does sound like, were this to be a film, I think the soundtrack would be Jerry Lee Lewis.
Yeah, film to be shown next year in March.
Man, that's awesome. When is there any release date on that, or are you just, whenever you get it done?
I don't write for a time limit, or I don't have any deadlines or anything like that, thank God. No, I just, when I'm done with them, I notify my publisher, and that's it.
Wow, that's awesome. Yeah, these days with publishing, so many people are going to self-publishing. Did you ever look into that?
Yeah, actually, my first 2, I did self-publish. They were on Amazon for about 3 weeks, I think.
Oh, okay.
Until I signed the contract, that I took them off then.
Okay, cool. What is it, with your publisher, what is it like, working with them? Pretty supportive?
Stan St. Clair is doing my new book. Like I said, The Clock Struck Midnight, and
Yeah.
he's very supportive. He's a very nice man.
Cool.
And he works with me, trying to help me out any way that he can and give me support. And I run things by him. So it's a good relationship. He's there if I need him. Constantly he's there. So
that's awesome. That sounds like a good team. So yeah, for all those interested in Clock Struck Midnight, here's the cover art. Let me turn off the banner here real quick.
There yeah, see, I designed my front covers on my phone also.
What's that? You design them on your phone?
Yeah, on my phone also.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so Sandra, what program are you using on your phone to design them?
I have a couple little programs, and I use Photoshop.
Okay.
And man, a couple of little. So I just do it all on the cell phone, and then it's done.
Just like a little iPhone, or
I know, it's a Samsung Galaxy 9S.
Okay. Wow, I can't even imagine that. I mean, doing graphic design. Well, obviously, typing on here is a pain in the butt for me, but doing Photoshop too? My God.
I used to when I started out in the ad business. I had an iMac.
Oh, right.
And I don't know if you know anything about them, but they're small. And I was doing double truck ads on those things. Like 2-page spreads on newspapers. On the iMac. So
yeah,
I can read upside down. I can read sideways.
Nice. So you're pretty versatile. Nothing of size like this, phases you. Yeah. My hat's off.
Yeah, you gotta try it. Give it a try.
I might have to now. Well, Sandra, thanks so much for coming on to the show. It's been a real treat, chatting with you and talking about your work and your creative process and everything. It's been wonderful.
I sure appreciate you having me on the show. I sure do.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
I've had a good time.
Good. It's I can't wait to see when the next two books come out. Make sure to hit us up at Colorado Festival of Horror. It's it's been really cool, and the fact that you're typing on the phone is still something I can't get over. That is amazing.
But think about it. Everywhere I go, I have that phone with me. I have it with me. So if I think of something, there it is.
So if you're taking like a lift or something, are you sitting there typing as well, or Okay. Wow, that's diligence. I love it.
Sometimes in the middle of Walmart.
Yeah. Well, if inspiration strikes you, then why not, huh?
When it's hot.
Right. No, that's great. That's hilarious. Sandra, thanks so much for coming on. Everybody that's watching, make sure go to the website streaming down below, or Google. Is it Google search?
Google books by Sandra Wells.
Nice. Yeah. Go out, check out Sandra's work, and support another fantastic author or novelist. Thanks again for coming on the show. Sandra, go ahead and stick around for a few minutes while we sign off. But want to say thanks to Hellfire Entertainment for hosting us on their social media, and then also to my sponsors, Alien Donut Films, to Bill and Angela, for supporting me and Colorado Festival of Horror and putting up with me too. Good God, I am not easy to get along with.
I don't believe that.
You're right. I just say that. I'm nothing but joy, I guess. And then to my producers, Amanda Armstrong and Stefan Santa Cruz. Hope everything's well. And to everybody out there, thanks so much for tuning in. We are planning our Colorado Festival of Horror event with COVID restrictions. That'll be September 10th through the 12th here in Denver. Go to our website, cofohorror.com, for more information. And for everybody out there, be good, be kind, help each other out. We love you. Take care.